I thought healing meant finding someone who would never leave or hurt me. I was wrong. The goal wasn't finding someone who would never leave or hurt me. It was becoming someone who would never leave or hurt herself. And that changed the way I love. Hi, I'm Ty Love, and this is Love Without Chasing: How Healing Changed Me. This is the final episode in Series 2, and I want to look back at everything we've talked about: the patterns, the chasing, the conflict, the self trust, the pain, learning to love, learning to receive love, and learning to be alone. I realized they were all teaching me the same thing. I don't want to choose love from fear anymore. I want to choose it from knowing who I am. There was a time when being chosen felt like proof. If someone wanted me, I felt valuable. If they pulled away, I questioned myself. And if something wasn't working, my first instinct wasn't always, is this right for me? It was, how do I make them stay? I didn't realize how much of myself I was willing to sacrifice just to feel secure in someone else's love. But healing made me ask a different question. What if the goal isn't finding someone who would never leave? What if the goal is knowing that I won't abandon myself if they do? That changed everything, because suddenly boundaries weren't rejection. Being alone wasn't failure. Conflict wasn't automatically abandonment. And someone not choosing me wasn't proof that I wasn't worthy. It simply meant they weren't choosing me. And that's okay, because I choose too. I used to ask, do they like me? Then, will they choose me? Then, how do I make this work? Now I ask, do I like who I am when I'm with them? Do I feel safe being honest? Can I have boundaries? Can I disagree without feeling like the relationship is going to end? Can I be myself without performing for their approval? Can I receive love without constantly preparing for it to disappear? And maybe the biggest question is, does this relationship add to my life that I've already built? Because I'm no longer looking for someone to complete me. I'm looking for someone I can build with. I want to build without losing life I've already learned to love. I think one of the hardest things to unlearn is believing that being chosen is the finish line. It's not. Someone choosing you can be beautiful, but you still get to choose them. You get to notice their actions. You get to have standards. You get to listen to yourself. You get to pay attention to how you feel around them. And you don't have to convince someone to love you correctly, because healthy love shouldn't require you to betray yourself to maintain it. And that's what love without chasing means to me now. It doesn't mean I'll never be open to care for someone. It doesn't mean I don't communicate. It doesn't mean I don't fight for something that's meaningful. And it definitely doesn't mean that I become emotionally unavailable. But what it does mean is I don't abandon myself to keep somebody. I don't perform for love. I don't negotiate against my standards or my own needs. I don't confuse anxiety for chemistry. And I don't make someone else's ability to love me the measurement of my worth. There's one question I come back to now. It's, am I choosing this from love or fear? It's like asking, am I staying because the relationship is healthy or because I'm afraid to start over? Am I giving because I genuinely want to or because I'm trying to earn love? Am I communicating because I want the connection or because I'm afraid they're going to leave? That question changed more for me than trying to figure out all the right answers, because sometimes healing isn't knowing exactly what to do. Sometimes healing is finally being honest about why you're doing it. I don't want love at any cost anymore. I want honesty, transparency, consistency, emotional safety, mutual effort, peace, passion, and room to still be myself. I can love deeply without disappearing in the relationship. I can be vulnerable without abandoning my boundaries. I can need people without making them responsible for my worth. And I can want love without being afraid of my life without it. And maybe the biggest difference between who I was and who I am now, I used to think being chosen meant I was finally safe. Now I understand I create safety by staying connected to myself. I can love someone and still listen to myself. I can care about someone and still have standards. I can want someone and still walk away from what isn't healthy for me. Because choosing myself doesn't mean I don't love deeply. It means I no longer have to disappear to prove that I do. So if there is one thing I want you to take from this season, it's this. You don't have to stop wanting love. You don't have to pretend you don't care. You don't have to become so independent that you never let anyone close to you. You just have to stop abandoning yourself in the process of finding love. Because healthy love isn't the love that finally makes you feel worthy. It's the love you're able to receive because you are who you are. And maybe that's what healing really gave me. Not the guarantee that I'll never get hurt again, but the confidence that I will never lose myself trying to be loved again. I don't chase reassurance anymore. I don't chase someone's approval. I don't chase a relationship because I'm afraid to be alone. I choose. I observe. I listen to myself. And when love comes, I want to meet it as a whole woman, not as someone asking to be completed, because I finally understand. I don't need love to tell me who I am. I know who I am. And now I get to choose who I share life with. I don't chase love anymore. I choose it. And I choose myself too. And that's where the next chapter begins. Because learning how to be okay without love is one thing. Learning how to actually receive healthy love is another. How do you communicate when you're no longer chasing? How do you stay yourself while you're building something with someone? How do you let someone get close to you without losing the boundaries you fought so hard to build? That's where we're going next. Season 3, How I Love Differently Now. Because love without chasing was never about learning not to love. It was about learning how to love without losing yourself. I'll see you in the next chapter.